Hello there. Thanks for joining me this Friday. I'm Otto Othman and these are tonight's top stories. 2 billion ringgit health insurance scheme given free to B40 Group. Petronas issues apology after mass vehicle breakdown. And MIC Vice President barred from contesting in the elections for the next 5 years. The National B40 Protection Scheme will kick off with an initial fund size of 2 billion ringgit on January 1st and will be offered free to qualified low-income households or the B40 income group. The Finance Ministry said the scheme will provide free health insurance and takaful protection as assistance to cope with hardship arising from health issues, critical illnesses and hospitalization that may adversely impact the income streams of their households. In a statement today, Finance Minister Lim Guan Eng said the scheme will provide medical coverage for 5 years to the targeted recipients, benefiting individuals between the ages of 18 and 55 within the 4.1 million B40 households. Qualified recipients will be provided free medical coverage against 36 critical illnesses under the scheme, with a maximum 8,000 ringgit to be dispersed over a period that will be announced if one is diagnosed with a critical illness. The scheme also provides income replacement in the event of hospitalization at 50 ringgit per day for a maximum of 14 days or 700 ringgit a year. The scheme's registration and customer support services will be in operation from March 1st, 2019. Registration can be made electronically over the internet without the use of paper forms, and no medical examination is required for qualification checks. Lim said further information on the mechanism and implementation of the scheme will be disclosed when it is officially launched in early 2019. Earlier today, social media posts claimed that a significant number of cars broke down en masse after refueling at the Petronas Solaris Besraya station. Petronas Dagangan Berhad, now investigating the incident, said its initial assessment indicated that this was due to product mishandling that happened only at this particular station. In a statement, the company said the Solaris Besraya Petronas station is now temporarily closed as it continued its investigations. It assured that other Petronas stations were not affected and took full responsibility and issued an apology, while the affected motorists will be compensated accordingly. In the incident at about 7 a.m. today, about 30 cars broke down by the side of the Sungai Besi highway. There were speculations online that the vehicles encountered engine problems and died suddenly because the fuel in the tank at Petronas had gotten mixed up with either diesel or water. It is believed that this happened after the drivers of these vehicles had refueled at the Petronas Solaris Besraya station situated along the highway. Now, just over 1,700 secondary school students at 178 hotspots nationwide have been found to have tested positive for drugs in a screening conducted by the National Anti-Drugs Agency, AADK. Its Director General, Dato' Sri Zulkifli Abdullah, said most of them were aged between 13 and 17. They were also found to have taken methamphetamine believed to have been sourced from drug pushers. According to Dato' Sri Zulkifli, the screening was conducted from January to October this year, which involved 41,741 students at the hotspots. 4% or 1,709 students failed the urine test. Most of such students came from Sarawak, Kedah and Kelantan, and they mostly take methamphetamine as it was cheaper and easier to be obtained.
Ini kita akan beri perhatian, itu sebabnya pada saya apabila benda ni kita kesan, kita akan beri perhatian terhadap pendidikan pencegahan. Ini adalah amat penting. Itu sebabnya kita berharaplah mendapat sokongan kerajaan, mendapat sokongan komuniti untuk program-program pendidikan pencegahan ini dapat kita perkasakan lagi.
He also said the AADK will conduct screenings at both the government and private sectors aggressively from next year in its bid to combat drug abuse in the workplace. The agency aim is to reduce the number of new drug users, repeat offenders, as well as drug trafficking cases. In Pulau Pinang, a pastor pleaded not guilty in the Butterworth Sessions Court today to a charge with having sexual connection by an object with a woman. The 59-year-old accused was alleged to have inserted his finger into the woman's private part without her consent at a house in Jalan Laguna, Perai on December 1st. Ui Kian Lai was charged under the Penal Code, where he faces an imprisonment of up to 30 years and is also liable to whipping if found guilty. It was reported earlier that the incident was believed to have taken place when the victim went to the pastor's home to seek treatment for her aching joint. Judge Nur Aini Yusof allowed Ui bail of 15,000 ringgit in one surety. The court fixed January 29th for mention. The case management on the inquest to determine the cause of firefighter Muhammad Adib Muhammad Qasim's death has been fixed on January 18th. Solicitor General 3, Datuk Muhammad Hanafiah Zakaria, when contacted by the media today, said the Attorney General's Chambers AGC had filed the case document at the Registrar's office of the Shah Alam Court Complex yesterday. He also said the inquest proceeding will be held at the Coroner's Court that will sit at the Shah Alam Court Complex. On Thursday, Home Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said Attorney General Tommy Thomas, in his capacity as the public prosecutor, will direct a magistrate to conduct the inquiry under Section 339, subsection 1 of the Criminal Procedure Code. The magistrate conducting the inquest will have wide powers under Section 328 of the Criminal Procedure Code to determine the cause of death. The inquest into Adib's death would actually help to determine what happened to the fireman and what led to his death during the riots at the Seafield Sri Mahamariamman Temple last month. Housing and Local Government Minister Zuraida Kamarudin said her ministry and the Fire and Rescue Department supported the move. Zuraida believes in this matter. The Home Ministry made the right decision in ordering the inquest because this way, new evidence, if any, can be brought to light.
Ianya memberikan lebih ruang untuk bertemu atau untuk menyiasat dengan mereka-mereka yang ada ketika insiden itu terjadi dan juga sebab-sebab kematian Adib.
She added that the decision for the inquest was based on Adib's post-mortem that were presented to the Home Ministry and the police. Home Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin yesterday said that the Attorney General would be ordering an inquest to determine the fireman's death after the post-mortem uncovered a few clues. The Election Commission EC today said MIC Vice President C. Sivaraj cannot contest in any elections for the next 5 years. Its chairman Azhar Harun said in a statement that, with that, Datuk Sivaraj cannot contest in the upcoming Cameron Highlands by-election on January 26. The EC chairman said the EC has come to a conclusion to bar Datuk Sri Sivaraj from contesting the polls. This after reviewing the Election Court's November 30th judgment and the law governing elections and seeking legal advice. Last month, the Election Court nullified Sivaraj's May 9th victory in Cameron Highlands on the grounds of vote buying. In allowing an election petition by his opponent from DAP, M. Manogaran, the court ruled that Manogaran had proven beyond doubt that money was given to voters during the campaign. Datuk Sivaraj decided not to appeal against the court's decision and expressed the desire to contest in the by-election. The nomination for Cameron Highlands by-election has been fixed for January 12, 2019, while the voting will be held on January 26, 2019. Parti Pribumi Bersatu Malaysia, or Bersatu's 2018 Annual General Meeting, AGM, will not be discussing the mass exodus of UMNO members into the party. Bersatu's President Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin, on the contrary, says that the party will focus on its role in the national political landscape and how to strengthen the Pakatan Harapan PH government as well as the people's plight.
We will take the most opportunities during this meeting to discuss matters regarding politics, regarding our party, how we move forward to strengthen our party, but importantly, what role we will play within the Pakatan government in terms of moving forward in areas of economy, areas of education, in matters of interest to people, in terms of creating more harmonious relationships among people in Malaysia, dealing with issues of race and religion, so that we will be able to develop the united Malaysian nation. This could be a few of the critical matters that will be, of course, debated during this AGM.
He added that Bersatu's 2018 AGM would also be attended by other component party members within PH, PKR President Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim and DAP advisor Lim Kit Siang. Tan Sri Muhyiddin said this at a press conference after chairing the party's Supreme Leadership Council meeting in conjunction with the party's AGM at the Putrajaya International Convention Centre, PICC, in Putrajaya earlier today. The findings of the study pertaining to issue of toll collection will be tabled to the Cabinet in May. Works Minister Baru Bian said the independent auditor, which will be appointed in January, will assist the government in preparing data analysis and recommendations. The findings will include recommendations for the best mechanism to resolve short, medium and long-term issues on the matter. In a statement today, he said that on October 31st, the Cabinet, after considering the direction of toll collection in the country, has agreed that the Works Ministry submit the recommendations to achieve that objective in the next 6 months. He also welcomed the Finance Ministry's announcement yesterday that there will be no toll hikes for 21 highways in 2019. The Works Minister said the move is seen as the government's continuous means to curb the rising cost of living of the people. Now up next, nothing gets in the way of this food panda rider. The details next. Welcome back. Now let's hop on to Clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making rounds in the cyber world today. Now, braving the rain, the Malaysian heat or heavy traffic is no easy feat for any food delivery service rider, but one seemed to go above and beyond carrying out his duties. Food panda rider Shahrin Fazil is leaving netizens in awe for making substantial income despite having special needs. Here's the story. We often come across people with special needs in restaurants or on the street, but we don't always witness them doing jobs in the delivery service. A Twitter user recently posted a video of a special needs food panda rider that left him feeling inspired over his effort. Shahrain works full-time for the food delivery service with a weekly income of 600 to 800 ringgit. When asked whether he has faced any difficulties throughout his job, he immediately replied no and said he's used to it. In response to the post, which has since garnered nearly 9,000 retweets and more than 100,000 views, netizens applauded Shahrain for his determination to work without complaints. Now, when it comes to the love one man has for his daughter, the sky's the limit. Now, recently, a flight attendant for Delta Airlines, Piers Vaughan, had to work 6 flights over Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So far, her father, Hal Vaughan, used his airline benefits to snag tickets on the flights she was working, just to spend the holiday with her zipping across the country. The adorable duo's story went viral since Monday as Hal Vaughan told his heartwarming story to fellow passenger Mike Levy, who took to Facebook to share the family's Christmas workaround. Pierce later shared Levy's post, labeling the cross-country adventure as a success. Following that, the post has gained more than 35,000 shares and nearly 200,000 likes on Facebook. Vaughan has since been dubbed Father of the Year as netizens were praising him for his brilliant idea in order to give the best Christmas for his daughter. Now updated as of 7 p.m, here are the top trending topics and searches on the internet today. Proton Holdings Berhad has received about 200 to 300 bookings per day for its latest model, the SUV Proton X70, since it was officially launched 2 weeks ago. Proton's Chief Executive Officer, Dato' Abdul Rashid Musa, said the strong bookings proves that the company continues to receive good response from all levels of buyers in the country. In a statement, Dato' Rashid said over 60% of the bookings were for the premium variant, indicating that buyers were attracted to the higher features and equipment levels, and were on the opinion that these are worth the extra cost. New bookings for X70 will stand a chance to receive the car within 2 to 3 months from the order date, depending on the variant and color chosen. The national carmaker has reported of over 15,000 bookings after the long pre-launch campaign since December 12 for its first ever SUV model. Proton X70, which has been adapted from Geely's best-selling left-hand drive Buyo model, will be produced entirely in China and imported as completely built-up CBU units into Malaysia. Now, Malaysia needs to formulate a new economic blueprint in order to make way for a clear medium to long-term economic development, according to economist and University Kebangsaan Malaysia UKM Vice-Chancellor Professor Tan Sri Nur Azlan Ghazali. Despite being an open economy, Malaysia is not in a crisis mode and is only facing a slowdown due to weak external conditions.
We are not in crisis. Jangan samakan 97-98. 97-98 ialah systemic crisis, terutama financial system. Luckily, tahniah kepada Bank Negara Malaysia, because kita telah mentadbir kita punya sistem keuangan kita based on the indicator sistem keuangan yang saya pernah tengok lately ni, stabil, kuat dan sebagainya. Very good.
He added that the new government would also need to look at the uneven growth across states, which has left some feeling left out from the nation's transformation story. A recent study found that 54% of the population in 9 states remains below the monthly median in terms of income. He also said Malaysia has hardly transformed with minimal expansion in high-value products. Singapore said it has not received any proposal from Malaysia regarding the construction of a third bridge linking the two countries. The Republic's Foreign Affairs Ministry, in a statement today, said there is no official proposal or communications from Malaysia related to the construction of any new road link. The ministry issued the statement in response to media queries on comments made by Johor Menteri Besar Dato' Osman Sapian on Thursday about the upcoming Joint Ministerial Committee JMC for Iskandar Malaysia. Dato' Osman had previously said that the state government planned to build the third link between the two countries. He said the bridge would link Pengerang in Kota Tinggi and Pulau Ubin, and the proposal would be discussed at next month's JMC between Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad and his Singapore counterpart Lee Hsien Loong. The meeting would also discuss the airspace and maritime boundaries dispute between the two countries. However, the ministry said the JMC for Iskandar Malaysia did not have the mandate to discuss issues related to the Johor Bahru port limits issue.